Now they are interning in the finest universities in America. And this year, we have gone to 40 universities in the US, seeking admission for these children. And 3 out of them who came in to see them this last week or week before were from Stanford, Pennsylvania, and Columbia. Okay. So you can see from it just sheer faith, trust, it has to be right, it has to be done. That's one of these initiatives.
I think over the years, you have really become patient. Is that a true yes. You are thinking.
There's a long runway. When we do this.
But you didn't touch upon your vision to educate and remove illiteracy.
This vision is not mine.
Okay.
This vision actually is T.S.R. Subramaniam's vision. And it was picked up by my daughter. So between them, with an age gap of 45 or so, I was merely doing the work more like the president of the place, not as the CEO. Details.
We wish you the best. I really think India needs that to happen. And quickly about your childhood. Were you a nerd? Were you a sportsman? Were you a debater? What qualities your friends would say about you?
I was good in studies. I was really good in maths. But at the same time, I don't know how many of you are Brahmins here. I don't mean to point out the caste. But some of these people who were in our class, Srinivasan is here, he will remember the names as well. Rajagopalan and Ravindran, there were 2 guys. Rajagopalan came from Tirunelveli, where I come from. We both will finish, you're supposed to answer 6 questions out of 9. We both will finish 9. The only thing is he'll finish 9 in 30 minutes. All correct, not 1 line missing. Okay. And I would take all the 3 hours. So when you're pitted with minds like this, you have to be really good if you're competitive. Okay. And it was not the question of getting them right, how long you take to get them right.
So, I guess you proved everyone right. It's okay.
No, he was very good. Very, very good. There were people, Ravindran actually, he lives in Chennai. Ravindran, he I would call a nerd. Wouldn't study, backbencher. He'll be reading some novel. He got caught. So the professor said, Mr. Ravindran, we are doing something interesting. It doesn't seem to be interesting you. Can you just tell us what we are doing? So he came to the professor and he said, will you just give me a start? He said, we are not acting a play. We are in a classroom. He said, isn't the first principle theory of flux? He said, yes. That's the only clue which he gave. Now, we are in second year late in engineering. There are 2 years which have gone by. He actually proved the theorem from the theory of flux. He clapped and he said, now you don't have to come to class. Wow. I'll mark you present for every class from here on. When you come around with people like this, it drives a lot of humility in you. Not the marks that you get, but how good your mind is.
Thank you for sharing that. Any thoughts on the bigger India as such? What do you see, the internal issues, the external threats or issues that are there? Are we really going to become a superpower in your mind? And when, how?
I have no doubt at all that India will be a superpower. It's only a question of when. I talk to people across the world. I talk to business leaders across the world. I'd been doing that for a while. Finally, whenever they used to say, I feel offended if somebody talks badly of India. During the previous government time, if someone said that, I used to laugh, I used to smile and say that, what is the rate of growth of your country? So, Europe, then after this is, actually, when you think of it, we don't grow much. You're not even growing, you're going down. America was, if you see the growth, 3% means they celebrate. Okay? At our worst time, we were 4.5%. We have a base which is very large. And the last citadel that could have come between us and gaining greatness would have been China. But there is enough money which gets generated out of a system of pension funds. Julius Baer is here, they would be knowing.
Yeah.
And such trillions of dollars of money has to find safe homes. And India is a safe home. Whether you like it or not, it's going to come here. So, the democratic system that we have, and I do believe we have a great judiciary. Between these two, the money is safe. All countries have some issue or other. So do we. So, if you're good, we'll do 7%. If you're very good, we'll get to 9 and 10. If you're really bad, that year we'll have 5, which will be bigger than anything anyway, for a country of our size and an economy of our size. Okay. So I have no doubt that we will get there.
Great, thank you. Now I'm going to move to a set of rapid fire questions.
I thought it was rapid fire so far.
So far it was slow fire.
Okay.
So I have to wear my glasses. There are 10 questions, and just you can tell what you want. That sounded like thunder and lightning, but it's supposed to be fire. Vacation spot that energizes you.
London.
Your favorite actress.
I won't tell you.
Come on, Shiv. Don't be shy.
Yeah,
This is
I won't
closed
tell you.
audience. Many, is it?
I have a study in my house, and if you come and see there, a photograph will be there. That's a.
Can we try to take a guess?
That's my time. When I was
Okay,
young.
sorry. Okay. See, he's shy. He's got some dark spot.
No. Okay. There are grown-ups here. Okay. Marilyn Monroe,
Oh, yeah.
unquestionably.
Thank you for sharing that. A teacher who influenced you the most.
Subayan, Professor Subayan.
Can you talk about
He took control systems for us when I was in PSG, and a very inspiring man, and treated me as a son. Something which happened in my life, which I want to mention here. It's not an answer to your question, but nevertheless,
Please.
I lost interest in engineering. That's one of the reasons, much later, I built a university. That if you lose interest, and if your interest is elsewhere, how much can you discover and study it in the same place? I started liking business. So I started doing that when I was in 4th year. I could have gone to business school, but I didn't. I went into business straight away. But I joined DCM as a management trainee, and I did that.
So great talk. Thanks, Mr. Subair, our professor. IPL cricket team you support.
I watch it regularly. So
You don't support any?
no,
Okay.
it came up when it came for sale at one time. HCL contemplated whether we should do one or not. But somehow, I knew it will become a betting game because you will say foresight, but you know, if you go to London and watch cricket, you will see betting outside. Okay? It was legalized betting. Okay? Any game will have betting associated with it when it gets club level. I do not know of anything which doesn't. Okay? So I was not comfortable being there. I'm not a gambler. I'm a risk taker, but
Thank you. Avid fan of?
Avid fan of. Okay, the film which I liked most was Gone with the Wind, and Vivian Leigh, Clark Gable. I'm of a different generation of liking people.
Okay. Cuisine that you enjoy the most?
Tamil, non-vegetarian food.
Great. One thing you cannot tolerate?
Lack of application. No, let me say this. Someone who takes up a responsibility and doesn't follow it with the intensity.
Okay.
I have something again. I want to say this
Please,
here.
please.
Okay.
The idea was to
It's some of the massive projects like elimination of illiteracy in UP, bringing a village development model for UP. These are two really audacious projects. The elimination of illiteracy, there are 100 million people who are illiterate in UP. Now, elimination is a massive thing. So when Roshni, my daughter, and I thought about it, said, this is worth going after, let's go after this. It will take 15 years. Okay. Finally, I called a few people and said, anyone interested in doing this? And somebody threw the hat in the ring. He was in his 20s. I said, this is the right thing. He's throwing the hat in the ring because he doesn't know it is impossible. You know, there is something about not knowing it's possible that only when you're innocent, you will think like that. I gave him the project, and he's going at it relentlessly. Okay. 3 years up, 3 years later, we'll have 1 million. And then after that, it's only repetition. Once you do 1 million, it's a repetition. It has to be done 100 times. Then it's just repetition, right? But the discovery is a challenge.
Thank you.
So I like, even the other one, the project which is being done, the project is being led by a very young executive. She's 34. She's the same age as my daughter. You know, they work in the middle of UP in places where the state government, when I decided to go and stay there one night, just one night, they sent armed guards with me. It's an unsafe place. And there were young girls and boys working there. This is, this is what passion is all about. But if anyone goes there and slows it down, it angers me, actually.
Great. A song that you like?
Old Tamil songs. These are all Power Manipu, that era.
We're all oldies. So you can name one.
Actually, I can't put the words, but the song in Thalapathy, the one in which the heroine walks down, there is a beautiful Tamil song. It's very short, but it's really beautiful.
Can you hum it for us?
No, I don't know, but I can't do that.
Good. Your business mantra?
If you believe in something, stay the course.
Nothing.
But you have to believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, don't do it.
Beautiful.
If you have, I believe in it 70%, how can I have 70%? Doesn't even make sense. I don't think in English you can believe 70%. Okay? Either you believe in it or you don't believe in it. Okay? If you don't believe in it, keep rejecting. And you'll find something to do.
A miracle you wish.
If I could do the illiteracy project faster. Because, you cannot, I was mentioning to you, whenever the system succeeded, it so happens that communists are associated with it. Okay. You see, the village level education or the village redevelopment was most successful in Russia. It was most successful in China. The grassroots which lifts it up. Okay. And we can't wish away the central part of India, central north part of India, which is UP, Bihar, and Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. There is, I've been there. There is abject poverty. And there is no start. If you don't have literacy, there is no start. And that's when, say that I wish this could be shortened.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to take some of the questions that have been sent by a few Rotarians. I'll try to modify. Some are Rotarian Bharat Mohindra as HCL has grown into a huge 18,000 crore business which you built from scratch.
It's 45,000 crores.
That's what I
So
I had to repeat what he said. It's
don't put me
45,000.
back.
So you need to update yourself, Mr. Bharat, on that. That might have been last year. This year they are 45,000. What qualities would you attribute led to this phenomenal growth?
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Great team. Great team, very committed,
Yeah.
and fully believes, high level of, the passion quotient is very high, 100%.
Sorry, I was supposed to call the name and have the mic sent out. Is Aditi Jalan here? Yeah. If Aditi is there, Aditi.
Hi, yeah,
Yeah,
over here. Hi, it's an honor to be here. My question to you is this. Given that the startup industry is booming in India, what advice would you give young tech entrepreneurs like me? And why do you think that only 2 out of 10 startups succeed today?
I can't
Second half
get
I
the
couldn't hear.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Check, yeah. Given that the startup industry is booming in India, what advice would you give young tech entrepreneurs like me? And why do you think that only 2 out of 10 startups succeed?
Only 2 out of 10 ventures are succeeding. Why?
Why?
And what advice would you give her as a tech entrepreneur?
2 out of 10, that's a high percentage. I thought, I read some statistics, serious, Aditi. 1 out of 37
Correct. 2 out of
come out of infant mortality. So if you got to 1 out of 5, you're already there. All that you have to do is just stay and think larger. A larger risk is easier to bring home because you will have less people. I'll give you this guy. I know him very well, Jack Welch, who retired as chairman CEO of GE. When I met him first time, our company was 100 odd crores. Okay. You should see he was chairman of GE at the time. But we liked each other, so I kept meeting him. He said, when you go head on against someone really large, okay, you should know their strengths, you should know their weaknesses. Their strength will be, they'll be like an elephant. But the weakness will be, you will be faster. So if you pick the industry in which speed will be a premium, then pick that industry right. You can't go into steel or something where money is the differentiator. There, that's a race which elephants will win.
Superb. Thank you for that. Is Rotarian Vikram Chesetti here, please? I hope I pronounced his name right.
How do you decide how much you leave for your children and how much you give away to charity? Now that in this few decades, many billions of dollars is going to go from one generation to the other over the world. How does one decide?
It's a matter of what you do with that wealth. Then, let me put this way. Wealth is an outcome of activities. The activities must be institutionalized. That institutionalizing need not have succession to parent to child. At the end of the day, you're the parent, and in my case, she's a child, and that's the sole relationship which binds you. Okay? Money need not be a binder. This is a view which I have.
Rotarian Rajshekhar Gorantla.
You've been quoted as saying that good governance is at heart of what makes philanthropy successful. And philanthropy is most effective when it is spent towards a result-oriented cause. So what advice do you have for Rotary, where governance structure changes every year and participation in projects is purely voluntary?
It's brilliant. If I had not been part of an organization which approaches as well as what you do, I stepped back and felt that the largest philanthropist everywhere will be the state, the government. That is their business. But when private individuals or collection of individuals get together and make the government do what they should be doing and become a check and balance besides the last mile support which must be extended. Otherwise, the governments, the money which they have, that's what they're meant for. The project which we are doing in UP, we work with the government. Last year when I first went there, I had an aversion, but I went there and said, this is not good, let's go and meet them. So I went and met all the principal secretaries, we invited them and addressed them. And find that they all are fine to work with you. We work in partnership with them. And they even say this. Okay? If you do the illiteracy project, we said that you do 1 million, the 100 we will take 2. Okay? We need to work with them every step. And if you do it with patience, that's why institutions like yours are great support to the system. There is not such glaring things in South, whereas when you go up there, they strike you so hard. Okay? Malnutrition. It's terrible to see it. Okay? I was trying to figure out something like stunting of children. Are you familiar with that word? Yeah. Okay. The stunted children are a very large number. Okay. The number is also stated. It's a big percentage of those states. Okay. That means these people are going to be hopeless. Something is seriously wrong. Okay. The cure has not been found. There is no cure. Okay. So the future of India is going to be zombies? You have to feel disturbed about it. I feel disturbed about it. But you're doing a few things collectively. And I wish such systems existed in North. They don't.
Hemant Chodia.
Hi. Our family business's first computer was a HCL System 2. I don't know. Way back.
1982?
Probably,
83.
yes, 82. And I was in one of those first
Friends
batches.
joined HCL at the time.
Okay. First batches of your NIT in College Road computer training. Course
83. Okay.
Anyway, my question was, what factors or countries could displace India from being, one of the leaders in this information technology space? And are we doing enough to remain in the forefront?
This is something which I'm sure that the government of India is troubled with. We had a very nasty partition which impacted North India. And our, what can I say? Our relationship with our neighbors had not been the most effective. I'm not saying the right thing or wrong thing, but if our neighbors, if there is anything which is highly unstable, then that can impact us. It can penetrate us. It can impact us. You won't see it here, but very much evident where I live. That can.
Thank you. Any other questions or get a mic?
Superstitions. Yeah. Do you rely on astrology, Vastu? Any superstitions? Do you always rely on logic, science, physics, or sometimes intuition also?
I'm deeply religious. That's that apart. Something which is driven into my head was Rahu Kalam since the time I was small. So, if the exam starts at 10 o'clock, and if Rahu Kalam started at 9 o'clock, we would all leave the room at 8:45. We'll hang around in front of the college, the exam hall. But other than that, no.
Raju.
Yeah, go ahead.
The rest, actually, I don't know. My wife says that if anyone tells me one superstition, I'm guaranteed to follow. So,
Good evening, sir. My question is two parts, two not necessarily related parts. The first is HCL's partnership with the Passport Office.
partnership with?
Passport office.
The passport office, I find that there is, in the Madras Regional Passport Office, a number of...
TCS.
No, okay. If it's TCS, then it's TCS. It makes, to me, a computer is computer. It's like, the reason is, it's a brilliant success. We find that private-public partnership in that area has helped the average consumer walk in and walk out slightly less phased than he used to be. If it is some other company, would HCL be entering into something like this to also alleviate the procedural problems that the middle, upper middle, lower middle class face? Question one. Question two.
Let's answer that and then
Illa,
come
mudichurren,
back.
then I can sit down so he can...
After all, I am sitting.
Yeah. The second part is, your favorite is Kannadasan's song from the Bhim Singh series. Of course, you do like Marilyn Monroe. You probably are a fan of Shivaji and MGR and the rest of them. And you're doing a lot of great work. Doing a lot of great work in UP. கொஞ்சம் தமிழ்நாட்டு பக்கம் திரும்பி ஏதாவது...
Yes. Absolutely, yes. look like I'm complaining. The government applications are very difficult to deal with. We deliberately did not bid for some of these because I don't think TCS has yet been paid for that work. And, you know, doing that work for a business organization is not right because there our accountability is the shareholders. So we have had a trouble area of work in that place. And your second question is?
Why not Tamil Nadu?
Yes. We are currently working on, number one, Madurai, we have acquired the place. It is scheduled to start in August. We are currently searching for the second and third place in Tamil Nadu, which would begin between 16 and 17. Now, associated with that, in that area around, in each of the areas, we are serious corporate citizens. We will work specific to that area, whatever is required. We do that in Chennai, and we will do it in each of these locations as those specific locations would require. Definitely, yes. Now, earlier on, anyway, the government at times is mindless about this. The CSR amount that we can spend as of today comes as a non-tax deductible expenditure, which means it will affect the EBIT and it will affect the EPS negatively. All that they tell you is that you can carry it as an expenditure which is not tax deductible. I can't find any logic to this. I hope they change. But we will do, we will do what we are allowed to do. But HCL as an organization will prefer to do all this as much as possible directly.
Thank you. One last question. We are running out of time.
You're from Tamil Nadu and you're going and working in UP. I'm actually from UP, but working in the IAS cadre in Tamil Nadu. Now, I was very inspired by the fact that the entire thought of giving back to society came from your mother. And your daughter is the one who's kind of spearheading the entire thing. You've seen UP in some of the other states that you mentioned. I think there's a tremendous requirement for women empowerment in those places. Is there something that you're doing specific to women empowerment?
Specific
women
to
empowerment, please.
My daughter is heading this. It will be, this is to start with. In every initiative that we take, there are percentages specified. The Leadership Academy, the marks which are obtainable by a 10-year-old differs from a boy and a girl. It's because a boy is afforded a private school even though the private school amount may not be much. The girl is sent to a government school. But we still ensure that 40%, if there's any reservation that exists in these places, is it that much percentage have to be girls. Okay. That's 40. And if they strictly went by marks, it'll be somewhere less than 20. So we are implementing this. These are long hauls. If we don't set that right with women of future, it's never going to turn right. When I went to the villages of UP, the people selected to address were women. in whatever broken Hindi I'm capable of.
Sir, just as we conclude, thank you for your time. I think you have inspired all of us to believe in ourselves and don't do anything without 100% belief. And belief alone is not enough. You need to behave, and you need to really have the tenacity to go after it. And connect the dots is something that you have spoken today very nicely. And success will come if your belief and efforts are aligned. And the causes that we need to identify are big, whether it is business or non-profit. So I think you have given us a lot to think about, a lot to take home, and we are truly honored to be with you today. Any parting advice to all of us?
Yeah, I want to say this. HCL was a very small company at one time. Okay. This is a parting thought I want you to carry. Okay. Everything would be small sometime, but it's great to have that momentum. When you have the momentum, I really strongly advise you, implore that the momentum is a gain. From zero to the momentum is what you have in your hands. Now, expand it. And I want to say that I'm honored to be here, and thank you very much. I've been very lucky. That's something which I just want to say that again and again. Having great friendships, great colleagues, and a few real good breaks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have a small memento.
We have a small presentation on HCL, so please stay back. And after that, we have an interesting auction that's going to happen. So we are not done as yet, so please stay on for a few more minutes. Can we play the video, please?
My life is nothing but a fairy tale, but something magically happened to me. SSN was the beginning of it. My family witnessed a great struggle after the death of the only earner, that's my father. The opportunity came with 100% scholarship and a free accommodation from SSN. That's it. The life changed from that moment. Today I am helping 4 more students. I am so happy that I'm able to make a change in others' life.
मैं और शिखा फर्स्ट क्लास से 5th क्लास तक एक साथ पढ़े। शिखा से मैंने सीखा कि मैं भी उसकी तरह बोलना और उसके जैसा भाव अपने मन में लाती हूँ कि मैं भी उसके साथ विद्या ज्ञान स्कूल में पढ़ूँ।
Shiv Nadar Foundation began its life in 1994. We created the foundation with the purpose of transforming the fabric, the social fabric, by creating leadership academies. While building the foundation, we kept the model of how we would operate, the values of integrity, the values of passion, the values of commitment, they all stay constant. What varies is whether we follow creative philanthropy or corrective philanthropy. What we are doing in the foundation are things which will stand well beyond the lives of the founder, way beyond the successes as well.
Are we where we want to be? Or yet to get there? Are we counting the impossibilities or exploring unseen opportunities? Do we care about pain? Or have we taken pain out of care? Are we wondering if every day is new, or learning something new every day? Are we here to witness the change or be the change? At HCL, it is a journey where one thing leads to another. It is a journey of touching people with possibilities. HCL, we touch lives.
Yeah, can we get that so that what we have is, no, we need you to sit, sir. In the true style of Coffee with Karan, we thought we will do something like that in Chennai. What we have is a small elephant, and you need to be creative to sign here, and we are going to auction it. So the money will go to Rotary. If you could sign at the bottom, or wherever, if you can. I'll open it. Be careful, I hope it doesn't smear. Here? And by the way, the elephant with the trunk up personifies strength, ease, elegance, and humility. An elephant with its trunk up raised symbolizes prosperity and tranquility. This is for auction now, and the money will go to Rotary Club here. So anyone?
Can we start some bids, please, Shri?
Shri has bid at 1 lakh.
1 lakh. Can we have more for prosperity?
And it
And
comes
with the
in a
sign of
nice
Mr.
box
Shiv Nadar,
also.
it's going to be even more special.
It is for your
So some more
organization.
bids, please. Over 1 lakh. Come on, Rotary Club of Madras. Show us what you're worth. Shri Garapati has taken it for 1 lakh.
Madras Central. 2
Mr.
lakhs.
Prabhakar, 2 lakhs from Rotary Club of Madras Central. Mr. Chesetti. Thank you so much. 2 lakhs. Fabulous. Come on. Let's have a few more people bid over that. Rotary Club of Madras, you have to beat Central over this. Do you want that to go to Rotary Club of Madras Central, the prosperity and all the signature of Mr. Nadar? Come on. He's come to our club. Let's have a few more bids. Raj, you're a good bidder. You love art. This is better than a piece of art.
So one last round, since the interest of time, 2.2 lakhs, right?
Yeah, that's 2 lakhs now. Shrikant?
2 lakhs.
Mr. S.N. Shrikant?
And can we ring the bell, sir, with the permission? Sold 2 lakhs to you, sir.
It's sold to Mr. Chesetti from Rotary Club of Madras Central. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Mr. Chesetti.
You should be.
I hope you enjoy the elephant and the signature and more prosperity to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Could I now request the First Lady, Malika Venkatramani, to please honor Mr. Shiv Nadar with a memento. Could we have you? Yes, yes, please come over, Raju, you too. President Venkat, you may join your wife. First Lady Malika Venkatramani. I now request Reena Gorantala to please come over and give a memento to Raju Venkatraman along with Rajshekhar, please. Thank you, ladies. And thank you, President and Rajshekhar Gorantala. As we come to the end, I'd like to tell you that a lot of people have put in a lot of effort for this evening. And I'd like you to spare a few minutes of your time so that they can be acknowledged by Hemu Ramaya, who will give us the official vote of thanks.
What an amazing story of inspiration for all of us. I actually want to start my word of thanks with a quote from Khalil Gibran. All you have shall someday be given. Therefore, give now, that the season of giving may be yours and not your inheritors. To Mr. Shiv Nadar, who has lived this dream and inspired his wife and kids to do the same, which is amazing. Thank you for coming all the way to Chennai to be with us. I'd like you to give him a big hand. Thank you to Shruti Roy, Sundar Mahalingam, Prem, and Bhaswati Chakravarti from Mr. Shiv Nadar's office for facilitating this event. Mr. Raju Venkatraman for moderating the event. Thank you, Mr. Atul Singh, Julius Bayer India, and Jay Subramaniam for your generous support for tonight's program. GM of Hyatt, Rotarian Madhav, do thank your wonderful team for going that extra mile. Rotarian Rajiv Kamineni for putting together the Rotary video, and Rotarian Mohan Raman for the voiceover and the script. Tanuja Paul for designing the layout, stage and backdrop, and Malavika for designing the invitation. Past President Paul, Past President Vivek, Usha, Srinivasan, and Sridhar for keeping the timelines as sergeants. Director Club Administration, Rotarian Vidya Amarnath for agreeing to be our MC for the evening. The Program Committee Chairman, Rotarian Sri Garapati and his team, Vikram Tassetti, Asha Matan, Mehul Shah, and RCM Secretary Raj Shekhar Gorantla for planning the event and all the mementos. Finally, and most importantly, we have only our President, Venkatramani, to thank for achieving the near impossible, convincing Mr. Shiv Nadar to visit the Rotary Club of Madras and enrich us with his thoughts. And finally, thank you to all of you for being here and make it a huge success. Thank you.
Thank you, Hemu. And before we close, I'd like you to stand for the national anthem. Could you please close the Could you please close the meeting before the national anthem, President?
Yeah. Just a word. In fact, 2 years ago, I asked Prem, I would like Dr. Shiv Nadar to come and address us. And like Dr. Shiv Nadar said, I dreamt, I visualized, and it happened. I thank God and thank Dr. Shiv Nadar and Prem for making it happen. Thank you very much. I declare the meeting closed.
Could we sing the national anthem together, please? Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he vidata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Utkala Jalasitaranga Taba Shubha Name Jage Taba Shubha Ashish Mage Gaye Taba Jaya Gata Janagana Mangaladayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He. Thank you. And you may please join us for cocktails and fellowship and dinner, please. Thank you all for being a wonderful audience.